What's up, guys? Welcome back to Hero Strength, where we get swole, jacked, beautiful, sexy, thick, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, so starting off the workout, basically, this is just a my normal routine that I'm kind of like sticking with. This is just one of the ab exercises. I put up an ab video not too long ago, so it's just straight and cut to the point. Only did about three different variations of my ab exercises. Started off with just some sit ups, about 3 sets. This is not one of my like major ab days. I'm normally doing abs either every day or every other day, but I choose one day where I really kill my abs. But most of the time right now it's just like maintaining, trying to get them going, making sure that I'm just working on them. So first is those sit-ups, then those leg lifts on the bench. I really love doing these. If you guys look, the way I'm trying to think about it is I'm trying to bring my knees to my chest. Okay, so as you guys can see, I kind of needed to take a moment, and that's just purely due to the fact that my abs are on fire. It doesn't take a lot for your abs to be activated or for you to feel pain, and I think that's very important. That's why I'm showing you guys these just simple movements. I don't do anything really fancy with abs, and I feel like that's just a big thing that people don't understand. They think they have to do the most crazy ab exercises. I mean, this is just a different variation of mountain climbers, and I just like to do it just because the is at this position. I say, hey, what the heck? But besides that, like, I don't do crazy ab exercises, and you don't need to when you're trying to get abs, but when you're cutting down, you know what I'm saying? People don't understand that to get abs, your body fat needs to be, lower, which is very important. And then from there, you can work on abs. Just because you work on abs every day doesn't mean that you're gonna get a six pack if you have more body fat. You understand? That's for another video. Anyways, getting to the real meat and potato of things. We're doing push day. So started off with some dumbbell presses. If you guys look, I'm not going as low as I normally can. The only reason why I was doing this is just because, and you guys can't really see it, but I was like kind of overly bringing out those dumbbells, just trying to start a different, just switching it up with heavier weight. That's just the way that I wanted to do it. You guys can't really see it from this angle, but if you guys were able to, you guys would see that my elbows are flared out even more, like going for more of a stretch, harder instead of just going straight down. And that was honestly just a good enough stretch for me. Any lower and I would, probably start hitting my shoulders a little too much. So I was able to push doing that, about 80 pounds. Got a good amount of reps in. The first time I did it, actually, I ended up getting 15 reps, which I was surprised. But as you guys keep going, you'll notice that you're not hitting it as hard or hitting as many reps, and all that really matters right now is getting those squeezes in. I'm no longer trying to grow. All I'm trying to do is maintain my size, but also trying to accentuate everything. So as I'm going up, I'm really trying to push on my chest and not just squeeze it, but squeeze it inside so that we can get really good striations on that side chest, okay? On the fifth set, I dropped the weight and I was like, okay, let's try, let's just try repping it out, trying to get as many reps as possible. And this felt amazing. Honestly, I was like, whoa, this weight freaking sucks, man, which is amazing. You guys always want to be able to handle weight efficiently. We don't want to just push 200-pound dumbbells and you don't feel anything, So my thing is, if I can't feel the muscle while I'm pushing weight, then I don't want to pick it up. You understand? That's just my opinion. That's how bodybuilding works. If we're trying to get stronger, hey, then that's something completely different. But if you guys look, as I'm trying to go up and down, when I'm trying to come up, I'm trying to get good squeezes, real good squeezes, and then I'm trying to get decent stretching on the way down, okay? Very important when doing these. Okay, guys, now we're moving on to the hammer strength incline press. This is honestly been extremely staple right now for me in developing my upper chest, just because I feel like I have a lot more control than incline dumbbell press or anything. Not to say I don't do that, but it's just when you have those days where you need to get a really good mind muscle connection, good stretches and good squeezes, this machine is just like clutch. Or because this is more the hammer strength. If you use just a normal machine, even that, it still helps. So before, like I had mentioned before, I used to always do wide grip on here, and I just felt like I was just getting a lot more shoulder pain than anything. And then on top of that, like I said before, I was placing myself way too low on the machine, so I was trying to only emphasize and only contract the upper chest. In reality, that's sort of impossible. What you're trying to do is just put yourself in positions where you're more inclined, no pun intended, where you're more inclined to use your upper chest. So when I'm going down, if you see where my elbows are at, I'm placing them in a position where I'm going to feel that stretch across the, I guess you could say, middle part of my chest. But that's also stretching the upper part. And then when I'm coming up, I'm squeezing the middle and upper part, I guess you could say. If that's the best way I can explain it on where my mindset goes with this. But in reality, you're just trying to push that whole chest outward. You're trying to create that good shelf-looking chest. And if you guys look from these certain angles, you guys can see that through my shirt, that's completely open. That you guys can see my upper chest squeezing. Now, if you guys look, there's kind of like no system with how I was doing this. I was going purely based on feeling, which I always encourage that you guys do. So I just did like 2 sets of 15. Then from there, I did a set of 12. I put on this weight because I'm like, let me at least do a heavy set. Then from there, it was just, okay, like, what can we do? What can we do? So I tried doing another set with the same weight. I couldn't do it. So this one, I'm like, okay, let me go to failure. Then I took off the 45s. And then I went from there and I just did failure again. Okay. And then after that, you guys will see, I did narrow to wide grip. What that means is I put my hands as close as I could and I just focused primarily on that squeeze. And then I did about 7, and then I did a wider grip and just focus really on that stretch. So in that sense, you're really just trying to mess with your chest as much as possible. Again, with all these movements and any movement, I always encourage, just because I feel like that's just an amazing way to make sure that you're pushing yourself as much as you can. And then also, I've adopted that from Dorian Yates, is that you're basically trying to, you're like a towel. You're trying to squeeze out whatever you can in each exercise. You want to make sure that you have nothing left in each exercise, in each set. You want to make sure that, okay, I did everything I could there. So that's just my mentality when I was going into doing this exercise. Okay, right after that, we go into some body weight dips with assisted dips. If you guys don't have a bad time doing, some people mentioned in the comments before that they had problem feeling the mind muscle connection, or they felt more shoulder pain, or sometimes like me, I at first only felt my triceps. I recommend just doing either a tricep press machine, or you do assisted dips. But basically, I just went back and forth with this. Again, I'm trying to use as much as I can. I did as many as I could with my body, and then I used the assisting part. So here, my mindset is I'm guiding my elbows to my chest. I'm not just aiming for that bottom chest. What are we aiming for? That whole chest. So on the way down, I'm trying to feel that stretch go from the bottom, middle to upper, and then basically the same premises on the way down. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that sounds very hard to do. Again, hence when I first started doing these, I did them assisted so that I could have a better mind muscle connection and better understand my body. And then another thing was that I watched Arnold do them, and he would go down with his body being straight, and on the way up, he would go ahead and like lean up a little bit to focus on that the end of that movement, that squeeze on the bottom part of his chest. You guys can't really see me do that, but that's what I'm doing. Another thing that I make sure that I don't do is I never lock. That's something very crucial that I feel like people do a lot when they're training chest, is with any movement, they go ahead and lock their arms. You guys will see that I'll go all the way through the movement right before my arms lock. And in doing that, that helps preserve your elbows, and then that keeps that tension in your chest, okay? So here, we're aiming for that stretch all across the chest. If it makes it easier for you guys, I would say aim for the middle part of your chest, and then at the end, puff out your chest and use your elbows to squeeze the bottom part of your chest, okay? You're trying to kind of push it outward. But that was my mindset in this. At first, you're kind of just going with brute force. You're trying to dish out whatever you can. And then with assistance, what you're trying to do is you're just trying to get whatever squeezes are left. And then for the last movement of chest, I went to the pectoral fly. I normally always, for months now, I've used this machine at the beginning. I'm trying to go back to my roots where I ended with this exercise. This one is just good because after your chest is completely, tore up and you feel like can't really push weight anymore, well, it's time for stretching and squeezing. So I try to guide my elbows all across my chest, and then on the way forward, I'm just using my hands. You guys will see my hands are open because I'm not trying to grip too much, but I'm trying to squeeze my chest nice and hard. At the end of the movement, I'm still making sure that my chest is nice and forward. You guys will see my traps and my butt are the only thing that's pressed up against this machine. And all I'm trying to do is just basically get good stretches and good squeezes. I didn't dish out a whole lot of weight. I just was trying to, whatever was left in my chest, I just left it here. That was the whole premise of why I did this one. There was nothing fancy that I did. It was just, this is it. This was necessary. Still made sure I got good squeezes and good stretches. Made sure I was like still dying, okay? Okay, now we're going into triceps. So here, this isn't really like, I guess you could say a pull down. This is more a push down. So if you guys look, my elbows are near my body, and when I push down, I'm kind of, the mindset you guys can kind of have, because if you guys look, this is the dual cable. My mindset with this is like dips, okay? At the end of that movement, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to squeeze my triceps to where it's like I'm doing a side tricep pose, or like I'm doing dips. That honestly, like, cause at first a lot of people would always tell me, "Oh, do tricep push downs with cables," and I just never felt it the way that I thought people wanted me to. And then when I did dips, I'm like, wait a minute, it's the same premise, okay? So that's the best way I can explain it. And when I'm pushing down, what I'm aiming for is, again, that top part of the tricep, right next to the rear delts. I'm in doing that, you're aiming for the biggest part of your tricep. We're trying to get size there, we're trying to emphasize that more, and in doing so, either way, you're still working on the full tricep. Again, when we do different movements, different positions with movements. All we're doing is trying to emphasize certain parts. So here it's just basically like that good thickness in the triceps. Then we go into the easy bar tricep extensions or skull crushers, whichever ones you want to call them. Here, main important thing, if you guys can't feel that squeeze, because some people feel like they have to come all the way up to get a squeeze, but you don't get a squeeze with these movements as well as you do with like cables. So the main premise of these is guiding that weight on the way down and stretching those triceps. I always try to aim for as low as, again, right next to the shoulder blade. Here I'm just doing some posing. I haven't really shown you guys like, a posing video, so I felt really good. I felt very, very confident here. My hamstrings, the hamstring drop is pretty good. I'm very, very happy about that. My hamstrings are the most dominant part of my leg, and I felt like I had that shelf, and that's what we're really aiming for. So just was a little proud of it. But anyways, when we're doing those easy bar tricep extensions, we're trying to aim for the low part in our tricep, trying to stretch that out with that weight. We don't just let the weight fall down, okay? We control that weight, so we're getting a good stretch and burn into those triceps, and then on the way up, we're going right before the triceps lock, or your elbows lock. I know, like, I watched Big Ramy recently. He was doing these, and he was locking his arms. For me, and it all depends on you. For me, I don't feel like I get the best squeezes. I feel like when I come up, I feel my elbows, and I don't feel like I get as much tension. There's days where I've done it, but it's not as frequent. So that's why I always recommend that when people do these, go right before your arms lock, just to keep that tension in those triceps. Okay, and then here we're just doing tricep row pull downs. You guys already know how these go. I'm trying to make sure that my elbows stay right next to my body, and all I'm trying to do is bring them down and trying to, flex or hit a pose. We're trying to make those triceps look big when we go down. Sometimes I go all the way down, but to keep the tension, I'll go again right before my arms lock. That I just feel like just really traps that tension in my triceps and helps me to get a way, way better pump. Sometimes if you guys see I'm slightly leaned over, that way when I bring it down, and I do that separation, it's like I'm trying to push it past my hips, and that just, I feel like, just makes the burn and the contractions 10 times worse. That's just for me, but these are just very standard, just a lot of reps, and pretty much you call it a day. After that, we go into the shoulders. So first thing I'm trying to do when I did a superset, first is I did face pulls. And here, all we're trying to do is contract those rear delts. I feel like once you attack those rear delts at the beginning of your workout, then they're continuously being worked throughout the rest. A lot of people, what they do is they do those front delts first, and then the sides, then the back. And if you're like somebody like me who doesn't have the most developed rear delts, that's going to end up affecting you. So that's why I try to avoid that. So right after that, I go into some side laterals, 10 to 15 reps, all just depends. And if you guys look, where are my elbows? My arms are fixed in a fixed position. I'm trying to keep them there. That way, I'm just kind of guiding my elbows right to where they meet my shoulders, and then I go right back down. But if you guys look, also, I'm controlling that weight on the way down. That way, your shoulders are still taking over all of that weight, all that pressure, all that tension on the way down. Again, those stretches and squeezes, the positive and negatives in all of these exercises are just as important as the squeezes. Everything that we do, the tension, the time, all of that matters. There's days to throw weight where you're like, brr, 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 but right now is not one of those days. You guys, I've shown you in different videos even where I'm like, yeah, I just started throwing weight around. There's days for that, but here, because I can still get good squeezes, and because I know like I needed to force that pain into my shoulders, that's why I kept that tension the way that I did. Okay, and then the last thing is a side lateral machine. That's it. Here, you guys see, like, some people keep their elbows in that fixed position. I just basically put my elbows right on that padding, and I pretend like I have the dumbbells. That's pretty much it. This machine I really love because there's no cheating. You place yourself in the right position and you're good. This one I kept the reps high just because I already did all my heavy weight. That is pretty much it for the workout, guys. Now, you know, cardio. We're trying to get abs. We're not trying to have this fat neck no more. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please let me know. Let me know what you guys want to see more of, what you guys want to see less of. Let me know what songs you guys listen to when you guys work out, because I listen to some weird stuff. But I really appreciate all the love, all the subscribers. And if you are new to the channel, just know that I put out videos weekly. I love you guys. You guys stay safe, and let's all go get thick.